By the light of the sun, by the depth of the moon, by the flame of the wand, by the pentacle of earth, I call upon the guides of wisdom, the ancestors of the craft, and the holy guardian angel. Guide us now through the stations of the dove and serpent. Reveal what is hidden, that we may transform it into light. Hello, Virgo. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Virgo is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. These readings are totally free. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Virgo, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we start with the Eight of Wands. This is the first position. It's called the station, right? It's your sense of self. This is our current identity. This is our current tone of being, okay? This is a card of swiftness. This is the card of almost anxiety. This is the card of like pressure building up from inside of us, okay? It could be that we have this feeling like, I gotta move, but I don't know which direction to go. I got a lot of energy. I've got all this pent up vitality, and which way do I project myself? Okay, this is kind of how we feel right now on the inside. This is like kind of what's going on with us, and we need to reflect on how this might resonate with our sense of who we are right now. Maybe we feel like we're scattered. Maybe we feel that we have just too many things going on, and I keep getting pulled in so many different directions, and I don't even know which way is up anymore, right? This could be the card of like, anxiety, anticipation, that we got the jazz hands, we're tap dancing on the shag carpet, that we're maybe anticipating something. We don't know what. It's starting to feel like anxiety, okay? We got to put this card into a little bit of context, and we have to see if this is something that we're expecting coming into our lives, or if this is something from inside of us that's saying like, we got to move in a new direction, but we're having trouble consciously figuring out what direction that is. Sometimes this is even the card of like, I have too many good ideas. I don't know which one to pursue. I want to do a million different things, and I just can't decide on which one to do now, right here, currently, So let's line up the rest of our cards. We're going to use the Dove and Serpent spread. Oh, we got the Nine of Cups, happiness. You have a Five of Pentacles. We have the Chariot. We have the Star. We have an Ace of Pentacles. So I like the Ace. Anyway, going from this kind of scattered Eight to an Ace, I think it shows that we're picking a direction. Okay. We have a Four of Swords, a Two of Wands. We have a Five of Cups, and, a Nine of Swords. Interesting. Okay. I like that we have both of these cards. Okay. Even if the Nine of Swords is misery, this is happiness. This is complete unhappiness. This is happiness. Okay, and I think that's really because this is the card of destiny. This is the 10th position. It's the card of destiny. I think your destiny is to alleviate, to transform your suffering into happiness, to transform misery into joy. Okay, I think you are getting very excited. I think what you're doing is you're battling your pessimism. I think we're becoming optimists here. Okay. Now let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it over here with Dwight K. Schrute right on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any moment during this message you feel like you might know what that card could be, put your prediction in the comments down below. All right. Now, as we look around the room, we see a couple of majors, okay? And I think these majors are interesting too, because the Chariot card is kind of like we're committed and loyal and devoted to a certain path. The Star is kind of like saying there's a different path for you. We might feel a false sense of obligation to something here. This is calling us to our true destiny. Okay? This is calling us to what really is truly meant for us. And this might be some kind of a feeling of obligation or a sense of duty to something or someone. All right? We've got fire. We've got water. We've got our air cards. We've got our earth cards. Very balanced. It's very, very balanced in the reading today. The earth energy that we see is very interesting too, because it's the 5. It's a card of change. Okay? And this is the card of the new path. So I feel like there's sort of a theme. There's a story that's emerging here. Now, the 9 of Cups is the card of happiness, but this is the card of the battle. The second position, the battle card. This is where your quest is really revealed. This is your field of conflict. This is the challenge that drives your soul forward. It's happiness, right? It is superabundance on the physical, financial, mental, emotional, and spiritual creative planes. This is someone who's pursuing their happiness. This is somebody that is following their will, following their bliss, right? This is a card of abundance, superabundance in every dimension of being. And the question is, where's your courage being tested right now? Are we courageous enough to pursue our happiness? To know what it is that's going to make us fulfilled in any dimension or every dimension of life? I feel like your soul is calling you forward to learn what is going to make you happy, and to not conform, or attach yourself to things out of duty or obligation or a sense of guilt or whatever that is not making you happy. Okay? Let's not be content with a 9 of Swords. Let's create our 9 of Cups. Okay? So I think the conflict really is that you're feeling pressure from inside of yourself to start doing things that make you happy in life. Caring for yourself, following your interests, listening to the music you want to listen to, wearing the clothes you want to wear, meeting the people you want to meet, hanging out with the people you want to hang out, studying the things that you want to study. Seems selfish, doesn't it? Good. It's supposed to be, you know? Capital S, big S, self. Your star is guiding you to these things that are going to make you happy. And this anxiety, this anticipation is kind of like, that's why we feel the way we do, is because there are so many things out there that we want to do, so many things that could fulfill us, so many things that we want to experience and connect with and have exchanges with. And if we're not doing those things, there's nerves, there's anxiety, right? And so we see that playing out here in a big way. Now the next card, 5 of Pentacles, is the card of the soul, 3rd position. Right? This is the hidden self. This is our unconscious. This is the secret longings, perhaps. Right? And it's the 5 of Pentacles. It's a card of worry. It's a card of change. It's a card that is this is a whisper from the shadow within. Right? Our private yearnings, right? Our sort of our secret longings are for change, are for me to break out of my shell, right? The sort of, that inner landscape, right, is something now where we kind of are feeling like our true self is being crusted over by darkness. You see, if you look at this card, you see that there's some sort of a light source underneath all of that crust, all of those dark, I don't know if they're supposed to be gears or something like this, right? That the work we're doing now in life, whatever we're doing with our life, is really concealing who we truly are and what we truly aspire to, You know, I think of somebody, I don't know, it's this common trope in a lot of the TV shows that are on now. Somebody that's just like working away in the factory, but they're like dreaming of like sailing or like going to the moon or like flying, you know what I mean? They have these loftier goals, but they're sort of concealing who they really are, just doing the thing that they're obligated to do. They're performing their duty in life, but their soul is really like dreaming about something, about breaking free. This card is about the light breaking free from us. So the fact that this is under the surface, it's kind of like you're ready to bring your true self to light. Okay, you're ready to sort of deconstruct all these blockages, all these things that have been crusted over us, and let our true light shine. And it's already starting to happen. Okay, I don't think we can deny it much anymore. Yeah. So the private yearning, as this card is, what's under the surface, what's kind of hidden within you, is a yearning for change, is a desire to reveal ourselves as our true selves and to stop constricting ourselves, doing things that we think we're supposed to do. When what our soul is telling us is that I want to do things that are going to light me up. I want to do things that are going to fulfill me and thrill me, and I want to, I want to be myself. I want to be my true self. Okay. So I think that card really nails it. Yeah. Now, position 4 is called the dwarf. And this is old patterns. This is some kind of a drag from your past. This could be some old karma. It is the chariot. It could be a Cancer person in your life that you feel obligated to, that in a way is kind of representing, if it is a Cancer person, representing some sort of a karmic thing that you still feel like you're paying off that karmic debt through that relationship. Okay. This lingering shadow, right? It's an influence that still holds sway for you. It might be a family thing. Okay. It could be a sense of obligation or a devotion to a particular family curse, family trauma, family energy, family dynamic that we're starting to realize through all of these energies, the star, the 9, the 5, that these are old wounds or an old connection, an old loyalty, perhaps, that we need to face and release. Okay? This is maybe someone in your life that is not wanting to move forward. This is a chariot that's not moving, for one thing. Okay? So it could be that there is a stagnant energy in your life that is sort of, it's almost like your family dynamic or the other family members. It's almost like they've stayed the same for like 30 years. And you've been growing, you've been changing, you've been evolving. But every time we associate with certain people, we feel like it's 30 years ago again, like nothing's changed. You go home and your family still has the exact same furniture, the same pictures on the wall, the same TV, the same art. And it's like, nothing has been growing, nothing's been changing. And I kind of feel that there's something in your life that is wanting to keep things as they are. There's either a person or an energy or a dynamic that does not want to change. Really, it's a dynamic that's not dynamic. Something is stagnating and something is staying still when it should be moving and progressing and growing and evolving. Yeah. And, in a way, it might be our parents that kind of want us to stay children forever, and don't really want us to ever grow up and go do our own thing, live our life, and be our own person. So you may have some experience with that in your history. I feel like there is something, it has something to do with family. Okay, the Cancer energy is a family kind of card. And it has something to do with some sense of loyalty or duty or obligation to somebody or to something. Maybe it's a family loyalty. Maybe we feel that there's an obligation to our blood family. And rather than going and living our life and being ourselves and changing and growing, evolving, we feel like our duty is to maintain whatever this whatever this dynamic is. Okay? But this doesn't have to represent just the family. This could be your own feeling of stagnation, your own feeling of, I'm not making any progress. I've been stuck. Well, why? And that's something that we have to ask. What other energies are around you that are contributing to your feeling stuck? What is it from the past? What old wound or pattern do we need to face and release in order to get sort of unstuck? Okay. How do we get the chariot moving again? Yeah. In the real way. Now, I'm not saying that you've not been doing anything with your life, but this past dynamic, or whatever this lingering thing is, has been creating some of this crust around you. Okay? And really has been encouraging us to hide our light away. Okay? Maybe it's a job, maybe it's the family, maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's a friendship, maybe it's a certain pattern of beliefs, maybe it's your family history, maybe it's your culture, maybe it's whatever, right? We feel obligated to something, we feel tied to something, and that obligation or that tie, that connection is preventing us from changing and becoming our true selves and really pursuing what is going to make us happy. Okay? But that's changing. Because you're changing. You can't stop your own evolution. It's happening even when there are forces that are trying to prevent it. It's happening. Now, position 5 is the position of the giant, the driving force, the impulse that propels you forward. Okay? This is what motivates us. And I think that you are someone with a very intense connection with spirit. I think that you've always been like wishing upon a star. Like I just see somebody like gazing at the night sky and thinking, one day I'm going to pursue that dream. One day I'm going to live that life. One day I'm going to travel up there to the stars, you know? So it's kind of like our ambitions. It's our guiding light, and it's the star. The star is the guiding light. Your own soul, your own true nature is showing. I think you've probably been having more like daydreams, more synchronicities, more weird messages from spirit, you know, sort of anomalies in your perception that are messages from spirit saying, it's time to it's time to go follow your star, you know. And this card asks us, like, what virtues do we need in order to pursue our destiny? Well, we need courage. We need strength. Okay? We need a willingness to sort of go it alone if we have to. We have to have the strength to break the chains of the past so that we can move forward toward the star. And right now it may seem like the star is this very distant goal. It's way out there somewhere, right? The star is just a pinpoint of light in the night sky. And we might be looking at it and thinking, well, there's no way I can get there. How am I going to get way over there? You know? Well, one step at a time. Yeah. But I feel like we're not going to have any sort of chance of getting there if we don't begin. If we don't find out what's been holding us back and remove those blockages, remove those chains. That's exactly what the star is trying to do. The star is that energy. It's twofold energy. The star is trying to remind you that you're the magician, trying to remind you that you can change your life and you can change yourself and change your life. The first phase of the star is when that light comes into us, shows us where our blockages are, shows us where our knots of karma are, where our triggers, our buttons, our sore spots, right? Shows us where we need to change, shows us those blockages that we've got to remove so that light can flow through us smoothly like a clear channel. Yeah. And of course, that's the second phase of the star energy. When we've removed some of those blockages, that light is now spilling out from us. It's radiating our true, authentic self into the universe. We're shining our light. It's also illuminating the path forward for us, giving us our yellow brick road. Okay? And that is the Ace of Pentacles right in front of you. This is the Imago. Okay, position 6. And this is the image of your future self. It's the image of your next step, the seed of tomorrow. So it's kind of like saying we have this impulse now to fulfill our lives, to pursue our happiness, to follow our bliss. You got to start where you start. So I feel like you're envisioning yourself, you're imagining yourself taking that step. What does that first step look like? What choices will help you to shape the vision of your best life, the vision of your happy life? This is someone living a happy life. So what choices do you need to make? What's the first step? What can you do right now to put you in a little bit more alignment with this emerging destiny? What can we do? Do we need to take a class? Do we need to sign up for something? Do we need to have a conversation? Do we need to check a book out of the library? Do we need to throw something away? Do we need to go buy something? Do we need to start writing something down? Like, what do we need? What can we do today to help us get more in alignment with that emerging destiny? What choices will help us shape that happy life that we want? And that's this position. That's what this card is asking you. Now, Path of the Serpent, we're going to talk about these cards. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. These readings are totally free. Okay. Your general energy is the Four of Swords. This is the position 7. This is the persona. Okay. And this is kind of how we present ourselves to the world. This is the mask we wear in the greater theater of life. And it's the Four of Swords, card of truce. It's the card of not wanting to rock the boat. It's the card of a very friendly, a very personable, a very yielding, a very respectful persona. It is a public self that does not want to stir things up, is very courteous, will sort of bend over backwards for people, will go out of their way, will inconvenience ourselves so as to not inconvenience somebody else. Okay? And does this mask serve your higher purpose? Or is it time to refine the role that we play? This is somebody that goes out of their way to accommodate the needs of everybody else. Because I don't want conflict. I don't want people to even look at me funny. So I say thank you a million times. I say I'm sorry a million times. I step out of the way of everybody. If two people are walking opposite directions down the aisle at the grocery store, I get out of the way and let them go first every time. Okay, that's this energy. And that's a very wonderful energy. That's good, right? That's friendly, that's peaceful, that's really courteous. I mean, it's really nice. But when it becomes obsessive, when it becomes too much, when it becomes over the top, when it becomes detrimental to our own well-being and our own happiness, this is the energy that gets us in trouble, right? Because this, especially if it is keeping us tied to something that we don't need to be tied to, if it's keeping us more headed for a 9 of Swords than a 9 of Cups, this has got to go. Okay? It's okay to rock the boat sometimes. It's okay to assert yourself, which is what we see there with the 2 of Wands, obviously, right? But this card, it sort of invites people to take advantage of us. You know, it invites people taking us for granted, and we don't want that. This is something that now, out of obligation, because we have this kind of persona, that whatever this energy is that does not want you to leave or grow or change, we acquiesce to it, because we don't want anybody to be mad at us. We don't want anybody. I'm sorry. We don't want anybody to be upset. Okay, so we contain ourselves. We contain our true thoughts, our true feelings. We keep them in a box, right? And we acquiesce. And we have to ask, does this serve our higher purpose now? Is this really the way we need to to function at this time. Okay? Position 8, the shadow. The hidden or denied aspects of yourself, repressed energies. This is an energy of dominion, right? This is something that we're not acknowledging about ourselves. And this is control. This is self-assertion. This is a calm confidence, right? This is calm assertiveness. This shows us where our fear and our power are intertwining, because we're afraid of sort of, causing upset. We're afraid of experiencing any kind of turbulence right now. And maybe it's because of that Chariot card. Maybe our history, there's been a lot of turbulence in our family life, and we've sort of learned to try to keep the peace all the time. And so even with strangers, we're bending over backwards to accommodate others, because we don't want the conflict. But how might embracing this empower you, right? What lesson does this have? Could it be that we need to assert ourselves more? That we should be sometimes maybe in a balanced way. We don't want to go to the other extreme, right? These two might be kind of way too different, right? This is I accommodate everybody. Everybody gets to go first. I'm trying to sort of please everybody. And this is saying I'm only trying to please myself, that I go first every time, that when two people are walking opposite way in the grocery aisle, it's like we're playing a game of chicken with our grocery carts, and I'm not moving this time. Everyone else can move and I'm never going to budge. We need balance, obviously, right? But we do need to embrace a little bit of this energy that says, I need to make decisions for my life. And if something isn't right or isn't fair or isn't just or is limiting me, constricting me, and crusting me over with darkness, I need to make the choice to remove that darkness, remove that crust, and let my light shine. And you have the right to do that. This is a card that wants to empower you. And it wants to empower you in the position of your environment and your relationships. This is not a limiting energy. This is kind of saying that there are other energies in your life that are limiting you, and you've got to now stand up against those. Okay? So there is a lesson here in these two. Position 9, of course, the specter, right? And this is the fear, worry, concern. This is really our anxiety. This is what it is. We feel the anxiety here with the Eight of Wands, but what the anxiety really is coming from is the Five of Cups, disappointment, right? And this is the specter that haunts your steps. So what do we fear, right? Well, we fear disappointment. We fear unhappiness. We fear the sadness, heartbreak, misery. We feel the disappointment of perhaps not having any Nine of Cups energy in our lives. That's what we're anxious. That's what we're nervous about. That's what we're afraid of, that we will not be happy. We're afraid that instead of being fulfilled, we're going to be disappointed by life. Maybe we're afraid and we're a little bit anxious to pursue our happiness because what if people are mad at me? What if I disappoint other people? Right? We fear becoming a disappointment. Okay? And this might be a reason, an excuse for staying behind. I don't want to disappoint anybody. I don't want to try to go out and live my life and then have to go home with my tail between my legs. I don't want to assert myself and take responsibility for my life and go off on my own adventure and disappoint the people I'm leaving behind. Maybe we're not so comfortable or confident with our own capabilities and we think, I'm going to end up disappointing myself. I'm going to end up disappointing my true self or God, Goddess, deity by trying and failing. Okay? Because once we take this step, it's all on us now. We can't disappoint anybody if we don't ever do anything, if we don't ever try, if we don't ever do anything, contrary to what people expect of us. Then they won't be disappointed. No one will be mad at me. I will not have to feel upset. So I think this card really holds the key to our liberation here. Because I think that the ultimate sort of anxiety or fear or disappointment or misery is that Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords is us feeling torn away from the life we were supposed to live. And this is position 10. This is the card of destiny. The fruit of your labors, your realized self. It's Mars in Gemini. Okay? And it's sort of showing us that the choices that we have not been making, let's say, by not following our star, by staying tied up back here, we're creating the ultimate misery in life, the ultimate sort of sorrow and sadness, which is being separated from our true self, our true destiny, being separated from our path. And I have experience with that as well. Being separated from the path sort of leads to misery. Because there have been times where I've denied my true self, I've denied my true path, and I end up very unhappy. Okay? This is the card of unhappiness. What we want is happiness now. So you're making choices now. You're ready to take that step toward your fulfillment and your happiness, which means that we have to acknowledge that the current trajectory is not leading to happiness. It's leading to unhappiness. So something needs to change. Obviously, you need to change. That's what this card is about. And you know that. You feel that something in you is changing already, and you're ready to take this step. This is you following your bliss, pursuing your happiness. Not doing this, not taking this step, we know where the energy is trending. Okay? We know where this is, sort of how this is leading. Okay? And it's no longer sustaining you to be separated from your true self or separated from your true path. Separated from those things, people, places, activities, whatever, that fulfill you and make you happy. Okay? Let's look at the mystery card. This is position 11. This is the guide. The higher self, the inner teacher, the wisdom that waits to lead you onward. What do you think it's going to be? Well, maybe Empress, maybe Hermit, maybe some more fire energy, but I don't know. Everything's already in a good balance here. I think as long as it's a positive card, I think that would be good. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Let's see what we have. Oh, the Lovers. Very cool, because this is the card of separation. This is Mars in Gemini, right? This is some force trying to tear you away from your true path, tear you away from yourself, tear you away from what you love. This is the Gemini card. This is saying that nothing can tear you away from what you truly love. That it will always find its way back to you, and you will always find your way back to it. And it is your true self, your true path, and your destiny. The Lover's card is blessing your journey with its counsel that says, love yourself, unite with your path, do what you know, make the choice to live life for yourself, capital S. Okay? Trust the guidance and let this card guide your way. This is a card that says yes. It says hell yes. It's saying take your power and pursue those things in your life that you want, that you need, that fulfill your soul. The Lover's card is all about choice. It's all about union. It's all about commitment. Commitment to what is really for us, not the false commitment that we sort of feel with this, with the Chariot energy. Okay? I think this is the best mystery card right now for us. This is exactly what we need. Very perfect. Let the lessons of these 11 stations settle into your heart. Each card is a mirror. Each station is a temple of transformation. Remember that tarot does not dictate your future. It reveals the patterns of possibility. It invites you to co-create your destiny. If this reading illuminated your path, share your reflections below. Together, we journey onward, ever upward, ever inward. And we're going to do an extended reading. We'll do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some oracle cards. There is a link up top. There's a link down below in the video description. New readings for Virgo Tuesdays and Saturdays. Be sure to watch both readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you, and I love you, and we're all in this together.